Today I'm demonstrating VisioLogger as an app to create apps. The app that I will create in this case is a kiosk-oriented data collection system. We'll use it as a visitor or lobby management system. We'll gather first and last name, an ID number, and then we'll implement a menu item. So why is the person there? But it's important to remember that VisioLogger can define any field you want to capture and any flow, any number of pages of data capture, and it's very simple to create a rich graphical kiosk out of that runs on a tablet PC or a touchscreen monitor. So let me start by running PowerPoint. I run PowerPoint simply to create the graphics I want for the background. If you have a corporate PowerPoint template, it will already contain your color schemes and what you want to convey, and you simply need to just add your prompts for fields or descriptive text or press here to continue. Whatever you want to do graphically will create the images in PowerPoint. So I'll save all of these slides to PNG graphics files. It can be JPEGs or bitmaps. I'll save them, all the slides, and we're done with PowerPoint. So I'll start up VisioLogger. I'm going to start 100% from scratch. There are no fields defined here. These two fields are sequenced and signed in, are just two default fields that are always there. To define fields in VisioLogger, I do edit columns. And so first, VisioLogger is a series of pages which constitute the flow through the data collection. So you can branch through different paths in that flow. It's very simple, but essentially each page is a collection of fields that your visitor fills out at once and then submits via the multiple mechanisms. But first, I'm making a kiosk, so I'm going to click the kiosk settings. These settings apply to all of the pages and fields in here. I'm going to import a default background. Here's just a blank slide from my PowerPoint. It's sort of the default background. If I have other pages where I just have a few fields on it, I don't need to create a slide specifically for that. Those pages can just go ahead and use this default. So I'll click OK. Now to create a field. We have our page one. I'm going to create a field. I click plus up here and just type in the field name. That is completely defined, that field. There's nothing else that's required to have a field in your database, already just waiting to collect data into it. But I'll create a few more, and I'll create customer ID field. Now, if you have a magnetic stripe reader, VisioLogger can use it. I just click this to use MSR input. I'm going to map the data from the magnetic stripe onto these fields that I've defined. So this works for both driver's licenses, bank cards, credit card. I picked driver's license ID, but on a bank card, that's the account number comes through on that field. And finally, for this particular input, you see I have all my fields are just all up at the top. I need to move those, but first I want to import that background for this page. If this is where I had those, and I click edit, and then I'll move those down to where they belong. I click and drag them. You can move those anywhere you want. So, and that's done. This screen over here keeps a running view of what I've done. I can also edit from here too, but what I'm doing, I can see when I change things. So for example, I'll change the size of these fields. Those are too big really for those two fields. Customer ID might be, I'll make it 12. This is actually done. We could now just start collecting this data. Let me do it. Let's run VisioLogger in kiosk mode, and you have your computer start this way. and it just, VisioLogger just cycles. It you fill these in, and it'll just cycle. So I'm going to shut that down and restart. We'll create another field and some other options. Let's see, the first option, oh, there's the data I've collected. Let's turn on the welcome screen, import an image for that. So I think I have it here, yep. And an epilogue screen, so when we're done collecting data, before cycling to the new one, you might have instructions for the visitor, or, please be seated, and that'll show for a configurable amount of time. We'll import that image, and I'll configure it here to be 2 seconds, 2000 milliseconds. And I could run to demonstrate that, but let's first create a menu. I'll create a new page, so it's going to occur after first name, last name, or I could move that order this way, but I'm going to make it occur after. I'll import I don't need to import this one because it's a full page menu image. You'll see what I mean. So I'm going to add the field. We'll say reason for visit. Now this is a menu field. So I click multi-valued menu of values on, and then I just simply enter the values. Change account. I might hear appointment. I might have an appointment. Now these are values that go into the database. They're not necessarily the values that the user sees. We're making a prompt for this menu. So let's import the actual image for this. It's right here on this multi-valued menu thing. I'm going to import an image to display for this menu, and you'll see how that works. Here's my menu field. Now remember, I created this in PowerPoint. What my goal is, I needed to come here to see what some of these prompts were. Here's the appointment one. I need to drag out a region here, right click it, and choose from those menu options appointment. So, and I also have changed my account, and I'll right click. So the user taps their finger on the monitor. At that point, they're going to select that data point with the values that I defined previously, and VisioLogger will continue to the next page. I need to add pay my bills, see a representative, and other. So I just go in there, doesn't matter what order. Just to have all those in there, I re-edit the kiosk options and add those to it. So these are going to submit these values to the database for your visitor. And we'll also branch the flow based on the selection here too. We have one more. So we'll actually ask a question. If they choose other, then we'll say, what is the other reason? So there you go. We have that page is completely defined. Let's create one new page with one field on it called reason other. Here's why, and that's a text field. Now let me, in this case, use a kiosk prompt. I will create a kiosk prompt for this. This is using the default background that we talked about at the very beginning. And I'll create a 24 point in this prompt is going to show up right on the page. I'm going to click this above the field. Now I'll edit this, and I can move that onto the page. You see, I didn't have to create a slide just for that page or for that prompt. I can just use the default labels that VisioLogger has built in. So let's run that through the kiosk. So here we have our welcome screen. I press any key to continue, right? And then I enter, the data is requested. When I press enter, here's my menu item. I'll choose other, and it says please state the reason for other, right? And now here's my epilogue. Should be about 2 seconds. Well, that was a little under 2 seconds, it seems like. I will say I'm not here for other. Pay my bill. I still see this. Please state the reason for your visit. Well, let's fix that. That's the flow. We'll just type something in there. I got to close VisioLogger and restart it. You don't want it to be closable other than by killing it, because you don't want your visitors and guests to close VisioLogger. So usually you hide that capability. If my visitor says they're here for another reason, then you want them to type that in. But if they're there for one of these specified reasons, you want to skip that other page. Here's how we do that. The Tools toolbox contains, among many integration items, the InnoVision 8 page submitted processor. And there's a whole series of things that occur at multiple places during the signing process, or the visitor submitting data process. There's multiple demos out there about how those work, but this page submitted processor, what I can do with it is I can say I'll create a new rule. So when the current field is reason for visit, that's that menu field we have, I'm going to add a rule that states when reason for visit is not equal to other, then I set reason other to, this convenience thing here is copy reason for visit. Let me click OK. So what that means is that if the user selected anything but other for that menu field, then VisioLogger will skip showing the next page because it has a value in that page. It does. If all the fields in the page have a value, VisioLogger just moves on. It could be blank too. It doesn't have to be some actual value. But that's how the flow branches work in VisioLogger. You just say if the visitor is here for a muffler repair, then you start asking questions about muffler repair in the remaining screens, and you skip the questions about brake repair. There's the whatever branch you want to do can follow what the data has been supplied so far. So I will save that. Now let's run VisioLogger one more time in kiosk mode. I'll say Jane Clark 6789. What are you here for? Pay my bill. It goes right to the epilogue screen. And if I had said I'm here for other, it would have gone to then state the reason for other. So hopefully you can see by that the power of VisioLogger to create these data collection apps. It doesn't have to be just visitor/lobby management. It could be whatever you might want to dream up. You can envision a small grocery store inventory management system where a person has a TabletPC, they have two fields they enter, say a numeric field 5, and then if you attach a little scanner to VisioLogger, then you can scan the grocery store barcode, and there you go. Just a easy inventory management system for small stores that don't need a big, huge expense. Incidentally, you can also take VisioLogger data and export it to Excel anytime and do any kind of thing in Excel that you might need to do to store, manipulate, and archive the data. So, thank you. Thanks for watching our demo.